What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. I just got back home from driving back from not honeymoon, but felt like a honeymoon because it was with my bride, and every day feels like a honeymoon. But coming back from our anniversary celebration with my wife, and I got something really wrong, and I am not too big of a man to admit when I made a mistake. I kind of jumped the gun and misread what I did going up the road. I got shared a tweet from Trey Stevens that said Al Harris for DC, as in him saying he wants him to be the defensive coordinator. Not that he is Al Harris for DC. Okay, so I misconstrued that. I was driving up the road and wanted to get the information out. Got it out, but got it wrong. So I apologize. Now, this actually makes relevant this other video because I'm riding up the road with my beautiful bride. We're having conversations and stuff, and news is happening. Dan Quinn gets hired as the coach for the Commanders, and I actually did a video because I was like, I hope the Cowboys have a plan B for this situation, and I was talking about how the Cowboys are more reactive than proactive. In fact, I tell you what I'll do, because after what I thought was as soon as Dan Quinn was hired, I thought they were going through with the Al Harris situation to kind of keep him from leaving. But I actually went through the scenario. So I'm going to actually add this onto that video and bring it to you. But my apologies for getting it wrong. I'm sorry. I was on the road and I probably shouldn't have gotten that up. And forgive me. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great Thirsty Thursday, and we are still rolling. We're almost actually the almost exact halfway point. Oh, we're halfway there. Right, okay. We all know I can't sing, and we'll move right along from that. So it's been about an hour that we found out that Dan Quinn, basically, at least if you believe Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, and Tom Passero, will be the Commanders' head coach. Now, what I always find funny is how people, there's an old saying, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. And there's another one that can go with that. The grass is always greener on the other side. Until you get over there and you find out things aren't as green as you thought they were. And so there's a lot of people that as soon as we lost, immediately said, fire this guy. Fire him. Get rid of Dan Quinn. He sucks. He's ass. Get him out of here. He's a bum. And not remembering what it was like before Dan Quinn got here. Look at this. Man, that mother humper burned. Look at that.
What?
That van over there.
Oh my goodness.
Damn. That was charred royal.
Jeez.
Okay, you might see it a little bit on the. Okay.
That was on fire.
That was burning. That's some burning shit right there. Might not remember what we had. Now, the thing that we're going to have a problem with now is if the Cowboys don't have another plan, is losing possibly some of our great assistant coaches. Al Harris, I'm going to say, I think he deserves a chance to become a defensive coordinator because you look at the trend now is these younger guys that have now had an opportunity to become head coaches. They relate better to the players, and you got to say that Al Harris has related incredible with our defensive backfield. You see what happened with Diggs, who was a second-round pick, and Deron Bland. I think Deron was a fifth-round pick, maybe, where he was able to step up and become great interceptors of the ball. So this is going to be a problem that we have. And the thing that still amazes me is our expectation of what we have is above and beyond reasonable. You think about Micah Parsons talking about how bad the defense played in that game, okay? And he literally put it out there and said, when you think about how bad we played, giving up 40 points and basically last in every category in the playoffs and stuff, what do you expect from Dak Prescott to be able to do? Be Superman? And I will say a lot of you fans say yes. Yes. Now, the solution here, as a lot of people have, because now we're seeing all of these wonderful ideas and stuff that are coming down the pipe from the ESPNs, the Mike Greenbergs and stuff, that Dak Prescott should demand a trade, to the Atlanta Falcons. Okay. Or that the Cowboys should trade with Chicago, Micah Parsons, to get their number one pick, and then take our number one pick and go ahead and trade up to go ahead and get Caleb Williams. Okay. So let me see if I get this straight. You had a defense that couldn't stop anybody. And your solution is trade the best player, right, off of the defense to get yourself a quarterback who is going to have the rookie curve. Oh, I know. You're going to go back and say, but look at CJ there with the Texans. And I'll say, look at the boatload of shit that they got because of Deshaun Watson. Do you realize they still have another number one pick this year because of that trade? And I know what the Dak Prescott is saying. Well, trade Dak for a whole bunch of number ones. But you can't do that. I mean, this is not fantasy football, guys. You can't just go ahead and trade somebody and get, that you're going to trade garbage and end up getting back treasure. It doesn't work that way in the NFL, especially when you talk about the Cowboys making trades. Remember, you ended up seeing the Eagles give up a number one to get A.J. Brown, right? And what did Cleveland give up to get Amari Cooper? Yeah, a 5th round pick. So when you guys start talking about getting rid of proven players, look at the resume of the guys that would have to replace them. As in Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay. You'll remember there was an ex-employee who was talking about the Detroit Lions calling the Cowboys about making a trade and talking to Stephen Jones. And Stephen Jones is like, who? We'll call you back. And then doesn't talk to anybody about who called. Or even care to find out who they're talking about trading. So if you're saying you trust those guys to take the draft picks, turn around and build a new team from scratch, starting completely over, you're crazy. You are nuts. What you have to do, and I'm curious because I've got all kinds of stuff that's going on in my head. My brain is going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm thinking that Micah Parsons the thing that finally turned Dan Quinn over the edge to say, okay, I'm out of here. Because it seemed like it was taking so long for the Commanders to make a decision that I look at this and I can't say that for Dan Quinn, I guess he's got several years without the scrutiny of being in Dallas when you look at where the Commanders are to try and rebuild the culture, because they traded away their 2 best defensive players. They don't have a quarterback. They got a brand new owner that you've got several years to get yourself together to turn this thing around, I would think. Maybe not. But there's not the pressure of the Dallas Cowboys. I can't wait to hear how the Commanders fans are. I've already heard some that they're kind of like, oh, geez, they screwed the pooch. New owner, same game. But I wonder if Micah Parsons talking yesterday for the first time since the loss and saying things like, we weren't put in a position to succeed. We were out-schemed and out-coached. If Dan Quinn took that personal. You know what I mean? Trey, are you listening to me at all?
Reading about Shopify.
You're reading about what?
Shopify.
Oh, she's reading about Shopify. But, Dan Quinn may have felt kind of stabbed in the back there, kind of like, oh, you're putting this on me? Okay. But Micah was correct. We were out-schemed, out-coached. But he was also right, too, as I have gone on and said, that we still don't have enough talent. If you look at San Francisco across the board on that defense, when we have guys like Jesse Holley saying, Micah's selfish because he's not playing, 2 positions elite, edge rusher and linebacker, and comparing him to Fred Warner. Look what Fred Warner's got in front of him. They went out they got themselves Chase Young and Randy Gregory and Hargrave. They already had Armstead, and they also had Nick Bosa. I'm serious. That's what the man's got in front of him. How many guys do you look at that are there on that line with Micah that you compare to that front? D-Law has had a great year, more of a run stopper. You could equate D-Law in there. But everybody else, Hankins is good, but he's not one of the tip top out there. Osa and Digazua, he had a decent season, but this defensive front and this linebacking core ain't anywhere close to that. So you guys want to blame all of this on Dan Quinn, and he deserves some of the blame, but you're going to end up probably regretting him going, especially if Al Harris and Joe Witt go with him. Because now we're talking about somebody else coming in and having to start over. And we don't know what defense they're going to want to run and what personnel we want to keep for them or that we want to get. And we all know it takes time to assimilate new talent to become good. Just my thoughts here. And we'll see where this all goes. But now, I hope the Cowboys have already been thinking about this and that they're not being, reactive because they thought that Dan Quinn was coming back. Because that would be the typical thing that the Dallas Cowboys do. They wait until they find out the shoe dropped. And now that they're screwed, now we got to do something about it. Yeah, that's the Cowboys for you. All right, I'm over halfway there. Peace.